Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Mocktail Minutes. This is Bailey.
And this is Brianna.
This week, I am drinking, what else did I put in here? Oh, the lemon lime collagen from Just Ingredients, vanilla drink wholesome protein. I did like half servings of each. And then creatine from Just Ingredients. So it's like a key lime pie
Such a good
snack.
idea. I never mix protein powder with electrolytes.
So it's the collagen. They do have a lemon lime electrolytes, but I have mixed it with electrolytes before. And then I realized after I mix it, it was expired.
And
So we're still drinking it because I'm not wasting it. The
oh,
other protein and creatine, but so far I'm fine. So
it's probably fine,
I feel like expiration dates, they have leeway. Unless
For
it's like
sure.
molding bread. But it smells fine and it looked fine, so we're gonna drink it today.
It's probably just like for optimal freshness,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, I'm doing these dual biotic sodas. Arih? It's Arih. Arih?
I don't
Okay.
know. I've never seen those.
I got it at Walmart. It was random. I had to run into Walmart yesterday, and Walmart got fancy, apparently. And there's like a whole like drink section. I was like, "Ooh, I'll grab one." But it's
Hmm.
how much grams of fiber? Like 3 grams of fiber, pineapple drift, prebiotic, postbiotics. It's pretty good.
I'll have to
Yep.
see if our Walmart has that. Well, this week we're going to do a two-part series, and it's going to be a two-part series on food noise. So, this first part, we are going to talk about what food noise does to us, like biologically, what is happening within our body there. Because honestly, I think this is coming to be almost like a buzzword where everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's the food noise. I have food noise." And we've never realized like what does that actually mean? What's actually happening? So we're going to break it down a little bit for you to help you understand what is food noise, where is it coming from, because it's been a huge conversation lately, especially with GLP-1s becoming popular and everyone's kind of talking about like the food noise got quiet or food thoughts finally got quiet. I'm no longer thinking about food. And for some people, that was the first time they realized that like not everyone thinks about food constantly. Not everyone battles cravings all day. Not everyone feels mentally pulled towards food 24/7. But food noise is about way more than medication. So we're going to dive into that.
Yes. And I've been getting asked this question a lot. Like, is food noise real? Like, is food noise a thing? Like, I've had, like someone was like, oh, my doctor said, like, that's not real, blah, blah, blah. It's real. And I think there's maybe different degrees of it, or kind of like you said, people refer to certain things as food noise when maybe it's not actually food noise. It's just like an imbalanced diet, that sort of thing. But food noise is real and it's driven by a combination of things. There's an actual like biological reason why like, some people have more quote unquote food noise or more like I'm always thinking about food or I'm never really full.
Yeah, I would say it's like it's rarely just about willpower, which is what we think noise and the cravings. It all goes back to willpower. Where yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of times that's more biological, emotional, or even just like environmental factors. And this is where we can kind of get into the weeds of like take the cookies off the grocery list for a
Yeah.
time to clean out the pantry, to say no to dessert every night. If you are really wanting to lose weight and you're really focused on wanting to make some changes, we can do that in a healthy way. Again, I think sometimes we just get to this point of it's like either we can't and aren't allowed to have it, or we
Mhm.
just go full fledged, or like when we say no to those things, it's like what am I trying? Not like it's a bad thing, but
Yeah, it
if we say
becomes like
no, it's like it just becomes a thing. Or if
like
you say
habit,
no,
like
it's
supposed to habit
yes.
more. Yeah.
There's a word I'm trying to think of for it though. I'm trying to. Why is that my brain working?
Let me think.
Like if
I
we
know exactly
say,
what you're talking about. Hold on.
could someone read our mind, please?
Literally. I'm like, you guys, it's been a long week. This has been a really long week.
Yes. It's like as soon as we say like no to something that we want to enjoy, we're getting weird about it. We'll just say that, and then we get like all intense, and we get like it's too serious, and balls to the wall or nothing happens type of thing happens.
Yeah.
And we can find that balance of like sometimes we say no because yeah, maybe we do want to lose a few pounds, but it doesn't have to be a weird thing that we never have ice
Right.
cream. You
Mhm.
could be more in control about it.
It's almost like spending money. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, I need to save up money for something. We need to buy something expensive. So this month I'm not going to buy extras on Amazon or go out to eat. Does that mean I'm never going to buy Amazon or go out to eat again? No, but this month I can't because I'm trying to save, that sort of thing. But we make it a little bit weird. And I think our, like the diet culture and our environments make food noise louder, so like thoughts about food, mental preoccupation, constant cravings, repetitive thoughts. Also, it's all over social media, right? And then right now, the big thing with the GLP-1s is, oh, there's no food noise. And I think people start thinking, like, that's what it is. I have food noise. And some people, yes. And other people, it's just, I don't like saying no to things. Of course, you're always going to want Oreos. Like, Oreo, it tastes good. You're like, I think people think if they enjoy food, because that's the other thing, like, I just enjoy food. That's the problem. Like, yeah, you should. Like, you
Yeah.
eat multiple times a day. I would hope you enjoy it. But you're not looking for that to go away. You're looking to have more balance and not, like you said, not make it weird.
I think too, we're taught that almost food is bad and it's bad to eat. And you almost get praised if you're like, I didn't even eat breakfast. I think that was definitely kind of a fad throughout the years. It's like being able to skip meals, you get a trophy for that. And so what I want you to think about too is your body is not broken if you're thinking about food.
Mhm.
Your brain evolves to keep you alive, and historically, food scarcity was a major threat. Your brain's job is literally to seek food, remember rewarding foods, conserve energy, prevent starvation. Those are some of its job. Now, the problem is our biology was built for scarcity, but we live in an environment now of constant abundance.
Mhm.
We have very palatable foods. We have food delivery apps. We have snacks everywhere. We have giant portions. There's food advertising everywhere. Stress is higher. I mean, there's so many more exposures. And I think we've done a really bad job at learning how to cope with the stressors that come up as well. Or it's like, yeah, we have anti anxiety medications and different things like that, but it's not really fixing the problem. Like, we still have to do things to regulate our nervous system better. If you're skipping meals, that's not regulating your nervous system. If you're scrolling on your phone an hour before bed, that's not regulating your nervous system. If you're anxious because work just feels so chaotic because you're not managing your time, you're not planning out your day, that's not something that just having a drink after work or taking anti anxiety pills are going to help. You have to actually fix the problem.
Mhm.
So, I mean, stress is a contributor, sleep deprivation. Your brain is receiving stimulation it was never designed to handle. We are constantly being stimulated in this world.
Yes. And you bring up a good point of your body. Like, it's created to survive. It's very good at adapting. It needs food to survive. So if you're skipping meals or you're under eating, of course you're going to be constantly thinking about food. That's literally how your body was created. That's not food noise. That's, you need to eat. But the other thing
Think
too,
it's kind of like your phone. You know, when your phone starts to die, it'll be like, hey, 20%,
yeah, it
hey,
reminds you,
10%.
hey.
And then it's like 5%, everything is going slow and it's like glitching. I'm like, what's wrong with my phone? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's on
Yeah,
1% battery. We start to
exactly.
glitch a little bit.
That's exact. We're glitching and we're trying to live in a world 100 miles an hour glitching. The other
It's
thing
very
is,
hard to do.
yeah, the dopamine connection. Okay, so a huge driver of food noise is dopamine. And again, I don't know what I've talked about food noise so much, and I think it's because of the GLP-1s, but I have had people come to me and be like, oh, like emotional eating isn't real, or like I was told emotional eating isn't real. And I'm like, I don't know who told you that, but eating makes you feel good. There, it's science. Okay. We're doing something for survival. It helps. We do have, you know, hormones that make us feel good when we eat. So then that's another thing. we have more food noise because it is a way that we feel good. Like we're stressed out, we're not regulating, we're not nourishing ourselves properly, we're stressed. What do we're going to want to emotionally eat because it's your brain's giving you like that red flag of like, I just want to feel good. I know if I eat, I'm going to feel good. Unfortunately, you don't feel good after you emotionally eat. It's like that one thing that you're like, oh, dang, why did I do that? Same with like probably like online shopping and alcohol and all the stuff. But it does make you feel good. So dopamine is not just a pleasure chemical, it's also heavily tied to like motivation, anticipation, reward seeking, and highly processed foods are engineered to hit the brain hard, you know? And I know it's been said like, oh, an Oreo is like cocaine. Okay, that's a bit much.
It's
Like
a
I saw this
little
thing that was like,
exaggerated. It's a
no one
similar
ever like,
processes.
yeah, exactly. You're not like gonna go kill someone over like cheese. Okay. Whatever. But maybe. I don't know. But sugar, salt, the crunch, the texture, highly palpable, it feels good, fast digestion. This combination creates a really powerful reward response. And your brain learns like this food equals fast energy and reward. Let's remember that. It's the same reason why I think a lot of foods are like nostalgic for people. It's because you felt really good in that environment when you were having that food. It probably really wasn't that food. It was the environment. So again, your brain remembers it's your comfort food, you know.
Yeah, and I
Your
mean, like, your comfort foods are usually something that you had when you were younger. It wasn't like something you started cooking in your 30s and you were like, "Man, this is really nice." Like, it's foods that we had when we were younger, someone was taking care of us. Maybe it's like when you were sick, our mom made pancakes, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So, a lot of times, a lot of it does just stem from we need some comfort.
Yeah.
And where I said earlier, like, thinking about we're just scared, not scared,
We just
we're
want to
just
feel
told
good.
that,
Your body is
yeah.
always just you want to feel good and you want to feel safe. I think maybe that's the word you're looking for.
But just talking about, like, when it comes to calories, we are so nervous about calories. Like,
Mhm.
calories seem bad almost,
Yeah.
where it's like we need those calories to survive. And restriction actually is going to make that food noise worse. This is one of the biggest misconceptions. And Brianna and I were talking before we started about like how often we see people under eating carbs now. And everyone's like, if I just eat less and less, I'll just stop thinking about food. I'm overeating. But often the opposite happens when you're chronically under eating, your hunger hormones rise, food becomes more rewarding, cravings are going to be more intense, and your brain becomes really hyper focused on food. This is survival. Now, one of the most famous examples that comes from a Minnesota starvation experiment, researchers actually put like healthy men into prolonged calorie restriction, and they did become obsessed with food. They were more like emotional around food. They fixated on recipes and they just were constantly thinking about meals to where the point like food became mentally overwhelming, not because they lacked discipline, but because their brains are trying to protect them. And I think it's really interesting, like how it would be to compare that to women because women's hormones are way more sensitive than men. So I'm like, if that happened to the men, imagine what it would do to the women.
It's funny because I actually took a deep dive into that, saw like how much of a calorie deficit were they in or how much were they under eating. And I was like, this is every female. And this is like what it's like everyone who goes to school for nutrition learns about
Mhm.
this. Like we learned a lot about like mentally what happens, physically. Like the other thing too is like what happens like after they're like refeeding back up to a normal amount. Like is it harder for them to gain muscle or lose weight or have like weight maintenance? All the things. But literally, they like lost their minds. And I was like, this is women, like women who are eating 800 calories less than they're supposed to. Wow. That's not every female, but it's a lot. Like, you've ever
A
been
lot,
dieting,
yeah.
it's like less is better.
Mhm.
So maybe your body is just like wigging out.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
even like not maybe it is. And even like the blood sugar swings. So that's another
Mhm.
huge factor. Is just we're having unstable blood sugars because meals where we get so nervous around carbs, we're scared to have a potato, but then we're like eating bowls of cereal at night. Or we don't want to eat, I don't know, fruit, but then it's like, okay, we're gonna have a bowl of ice cream. And so sometimes I do see we unintentionally we're just doing more processed carbs and we're not getting a lot of fiber, we're not getting a lot of protein. So you get a rapid spike and a rapid crash, which triggers more cravings, more irritability, shakiness, fatigue, urgent hunger. And this is why it feels like I just ate and I'm hungry an hour later, like we can't quit snacking. So that blood sugar roller coaster really plays a part in that food noise as well.
Yeah. And this is where I see a lot of people be like, I'm addicted to sugar. That's what I think about. I need something sweet, addicted
Yeah.
to it. Yeah, there's people that really enjoy the taste of certain things. Cool. Like, I want a sweet treat, whatever. 9 times out of 10, when I get someone to start balancing their blood sugar better, they're like, holy crap, I didn't even realize, like, I didn't even want chocolate this whole week. Like, it didn't even dawn on me. Or I wasn't like wanting ice cream after my kids went to bed. Does it mean that ice cream doesn't taste good anymore? No, it just means your blood sugar was more balanced. And again, you're not having that biological response of, oh my God, low energy, we need it, feed me now. And your main energy source is simple, like it's going to be the carbs. You're never going to crave broccoli. You're never like, oh my God, I'm so snacky. I could just go for like a chicken tender right now. No, you're going to want like chips, chocolate, candy, pretzels, crackers, all that. So is it food noise?
Sometimes I make really good broccoli in my air fryer though. So
Right. I mean, I like broccoli, but I'm like, I
you just
don't.
have to, yeah, you gotta know how to cook things. And
Yeah.
like when you start enjoying your food, you do honestly start to crave things like that. And I think that makes it
Yeah.
be okay where it's like, oh, I can eat broccoli not because to lose weight, but because it's actually good
Actually, yeah.
and we got some
Like,
flavor,
I'm
all
looking
those
more
things.
into it. I don't, because we both take people through Nourish, and a lot of the men that I work with are just through Nourish. I don't really, and all our other avenues are women. And I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell men, like, why aren't you seasoning your meal prep?
It's so weird.
Like, garlic powder is fine. Did you know that? Like, you can enjoy what you're eating. You're like, "Oh, I'm just so burnt out. I'm like eating this." I'm like, yeah,
Give it some
season your
flavor.
food. Yeah, put some flavor. Broccoli is still broccoli, whether you have plain or seasoning. Like, season your food, enjoy it, because that's gonna make it better. But the other thing is sleep deprivation makes food noise louder. So we actually did like an episode on hunger hormones and we talked about this, but sleep changes hunger hormones significantly. So when sleep drops, ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, it tends to rise for a multitude of reasons. And then leptin, the fullness, tends to get lower. So you feel more hungry and you have a harder time feeling full. So research shows that sleep deprivation increases reward driven eating and cravings for highly palatable foods. Like think about it, like you're just exhausted. Oh, I'm tired. What do I want?
And
Okay.
that goes along with stress and emotional food noise as well, because a lot of times sleep gets affected because we're stressed. We stop sleeping so good. And then it's like that never ending circle. But stress does change your eating behaviors dramatically. When stress stays elevated, appetite can increase. We have cravings for quick energy foods, and emotional regulation gets harder. This is where, for me, I'm actually someone who I have a hard time eating when I'm stressed. I especially don't want to eat like veggies and protein,
Right.
but I know not doing that's going to make me feel worse. So that's where I have to do it more informed rather than intuitive eating
Mhm.
because I know I need to eat. I know right now, a bowl of ice cream sounds good for lunch, but we're going to make it a little bit more nutritious. We're going to
Right.
plan a little bit better than that because I know it's just my stress coming into play. My body's going to react better to actually balancing a meal. So, food can become more than nutrition when it comes to stress and emotion because it becomes a source of comfort and distraction and stimulation and reward and relief. And so, this is why it's like emotional overload plus that biology. And then we have to also think about the environment. We are surrounded by engineered convenience foods,
Yep.
the endless novelty flavors, social media, talking about food all the time, the
100%.
giant portions at places, and just like constant cues to eat. So we have fighting our biology, fighting our emotions, and also the environment. So imagine trying to stop thinking about shopping while there's ads for this great shirt that you really want.
Mhm.
It's like, I mean, the algorithm, as soon as you start looking at new tennis shoes, now it's like everywhere
Everywhere.
you go,
Everywhere.
all these tennis shoes, because I just wanted a new pair. Now everything I open has tennis shoes. But like, it's like, how do I resist not buying it when there's ads? And then there's online stores open 24/7. There's influencers popping up telling me how great these shoes are.
A
And then they're
discount
like,
code.
oh, discount. You got me.
You
That's
got
essentially our food environment.
Yes.
So there's a lot of factors, and now we just have to decide, okay, we are aware that these factors are in place. Here's what I can do to reduce it.
This part is important and it's not going to feel great. And I think people are waiting to one day wake up and have all this just be like second nature and so easy. It's not, right? You have to undo those neural pathways. You have to create new habits. It's going to take a little bit of work. Okay. And if you're waiting for, just can't, I'm waiting until I stop craving chips, you're going to set yourself up for failure. So we're not wanting to eliminate foods like that, but we want to reduce it, right? Bailey said in the beginning, if you're just like, I literally will eat a whole bag of chips if it's in my house for a second, stop bringing chips into the house for now. Okay. You
Mhm.
have to set yourself up with a solid foundation. It's like you wouldn't take someone one day out of rehab and be like, go sit in a bar and see what happens. You know, we're going to baby step it. We maybe never go back to the bar, but you want to eliminate, not reduce, because it is one of those things you'll just want it more. So, and also to know some food thoughts are normal. It is okay to not always have every single thing you eat be for like fuel or whatever. It's normal. You just have to find that balance. So, you're going to want to be able to make sure that you're eating enough consistently, prioritizing protein, increasing fiber, choosing fiber rich carbs, stabilizing your blood sugar, improving sleep, extreme restriction, manage your stress, build balanced meals, and allow satisfaction instead of constant deprivation. Was deprivation the word you were looking for?
Yeah.
No, was it? There we
Yeah.
go. Like you want to make sure because then you'll always have that last supper mentality, right? Ironically, many people experience less food noise when they stop trying to aggressively control food all the time. Like, baby step it. You know, what happens if I go and I really do want that sweet treat? It's my kid's birthday and we get the chocolate cake and I really enjoy what I have and I stop when I'm satisfied and I just move on instead of being like, oh my God, there's chocolate cake on the table. Why am I even doing this? Let me just eat the whole thing before I can think about what I'm doing. Like we make it weird. So set yourself up while also knowing there are going to be some people that set this whole foundation up and still maybe struggle because of certain hormonal imbalances. And that's where you can really start to work with someone to maybe help that. But even if you get on a GLP-1 or you get on medications to help those hormone imbalances, if you don't have your environment set up for success, it won't be successful long term.
Mhm. That's where in part two, we're going to dive more into the behavioral and environmental side of food noise. And so, if you're constantly thinking about food, it does not automatically mean you're just addicted or lacking discipline. Your biology, environment, stress, sleep, and habits all shape those thoughts. So, understanding food noise can remove a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and help you finally work towards your body instead of just feeling like you're constantly fighting it.
Yep. And that's important.
All right, everyone, we will be back next week with part two, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.